I haven't made a video in some time, and that's because nothing's changed. I'm still Mgtow monk, still avoid women, don't date women, don't have sex with women, and that hasn't changed. And it's because there's too many things in life that are more important than women. My career is more important, my finances, my health and fitness, my hobbies, books that I read, video games that I play, sports that I play. There's too many things that are all very time consuming, that are more important than women. Video games, sculptures that I work on, plastic model kits that I work on, playing tennis, swimming, rock climbing. There's just a million different things that are more important than women. So I want to give the main three reasons why I avoid women. Right? The top three reasons to avoid women. The first reason is basically female nature. Okay? Today she loves you, tomorrow she doesn't know you exist. And that's how I phrase it. And I've seen this many times. Today she loves you, tomorrow she doesn't know you exist because, she's off dating some other guy. That's reason number one. Reason number two is basically society is against you. Is the society aspect of it. And reason number three is sex is overrated. So let's talk about each of these. So number one, today she loves you, tomorrow she doesn't know you exist. Right? So we all kind of know that women are very emotional. Women are very whimsical. They change their minds every day. They change their minds all the time. They change their minds as often as they change their clothes or something like that. And I experienced this many times where I'm with a girl and she's saying stuff like, "Oh, she loves me, and I'm her best friend, and the sex is great, and we're making plans for our future, and so on and so forth." And so the longest relationship I had was 2 years, including 1 year of cohabitation. And when she was getting what she wanted, it was great. We were like best friends. The sex was good. She was cooking for me. She was cleaning for me. All this great stuff. But as soon as something changes, then she's gonna go off and find some other guy. So what happened was when we first started dating, she didn't want kids. She said childbirth was painful, pregnancy ruins your figure, all this stuff. Having children is expensive. And I said, okay, great. I don't want kids either, so that'll work out great. And what happened was after a while, basically when she got comfortable with the relationship, basically when the honeymoon period, which is where she really behaves well and puts her best foot forward in order to hook you in, once she gets comfortable and once she feels like she has you hooked in, then that's when she starts making demands. She'll say stuff like, you need to get a higher paying job, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. She'll start nagging you, and that's when basically the honeymoon period is over. And she might do other things like deny you sex, or just like these awful things like disrespect you in front of your friends and stuff like that. In this case, a switch flipped in her head, and she suddenly decided she wanted kids. Right? So basically I proved I was a good guy. I had stable finances. I took good care of her. I put a roof over her head. I paid for all the groceries, paid for her clothes, and all this stuff. So I proved to her that I was a good guy. And so she flipped her script, and all of a sudden she wanted to have kids. Kids. And every time we were at the store, she would just go to the baby section and just like drool all over the baby's clothes and talk about how if we had babies, our babies would be so cute, and so on and so forth. And I told her I never wanted kids. We started our relationship deciding not to have kids, and she completely changed her tune. Now, lucky for me, she found another guy who apparently does want to have kids. And so she basically left me for the other guy, which turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened. And actually, when she broke up with me, she actually said that she has cousins and friends who have trapped their boyfriends into marriage by getting pregnant, by saying they were on the pill when they were not on the pill and getting pregnant, and basically forcing them to become fathers against their will, and marrying the woman. Now, I don't have anything against raising a child and protecting and providing for a child, because obviously the child is born helpless. What I do have a problem with is protecting and providing for the woman. So when you look at things like child support, right? When a man is forced to pay child support, the child support doesn't go to the baby. It goes to the woman. She can spend it on whatever she wants. She can spend it on makeup. She can spend it on booze. She can spend it on drugs. That's the problem, right? Is the man has to protect and provide for the woman as well. So luckily for me, I dodged that bullet, and this is a big reason why I'm a Mgtow monk, because it's just so risky. There's several times that I almost got a girl pregnant, or I almost got some kind of major STD, or there are a few situations where if things turned out a little bit differently, I would be married and I would have kids, and my life would be pretty much over. My life would have to be dedicated to raising the kid and taking care of the mother, right? So as soon as she found the other guy, it was like I didn't exist, right? And she's off in some other country, and she's probably raising her baby, and so it's completely contingent on you giving her what she wants, whether it's a baby, whether it's money, finances, financial support, high status, whatever it may be. And she's going to change her mind, a million times a month or whatever, right? So that's really the first reason, is just the fickle nature of women. They're not reliable. The love that women have for men is not the same as the love that a man has it for a woman, right? Women don't love men the way men love women, and women don't love men the way men want to be loved. So when you have a girlfriend, you think she loves you, you love her, and everything's happy. Well, it's really just transient, right? It's just really in the moment. Today she loves you, tomorrow who knows, right? Tomorrow she might hate your guts, tomorrow she might be, hooking up with some other guy, who knows. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is society is against you. And if you watched other Mgtow videos, you know that men get screwed over in divorce courts, whether it's alimony, whether it's child supports. Women can trick you into fatherhood, just like I mentioned earlier. Women can steal the sperm from a used condom and use it to impregnate herself, and you'll be on the hook. Just all kinds of things. And I have a story that I don't think I've told before. And this is basically a guy who, it's a story I heard secondhand, so I never met the guy. But it's a guy who he was an actuary. He worked for a large insurance company. He made pretty decent money. And he was married something like 15 years or 14 years with kids. And what happened was, just one day out of the blue, the wife started drinking heavily. And he had no idea why. And then shortly afterwards, he was served with divorce papers. And she divorced him. She took the kids. She took the house. He had to sell the house and move into a small apartment. He was ordered to pay child support, and he was ordered to pay alimony. and she got to live in the house. And so far, it's a pretty common red pill story, right? Pretty conventional red pill story you've heard a million times. Now, what happens next is, I think, very interesting, and that is this guy's parents sided with the ex-wife. So this guy just got screwed over big time, lost his house, lost his kids. His life is turned upside down. He has to work overtime to pay alimony and child support. And his own parents, his own flesh and blood parents, essentially sold him out and sided with the ex-wife, to the point of inviting her to their summer villa. They had this summer house, and they invited her to stay there, as she's going through a divorce, because it's so difficult. It's a difficult time for her, blah, 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 all that stuff. Now, why do they do that? Because she had custody of the kids. And this man's parents wanted access to their grandchildren. So essentially, their own son, being a disposable male, being a disposable man, this is a society we live in, he fulfilled his purpose of, raising kids, working hard to protect and provide, and once he's done performing his service, he's cast aside. His parents didn't invite him to move into their villa. His parents didn't offer him any kind of tangible supports. They offered it to the wife. So in many cases, society is against you when you choose to be in a relationship, when you choose to be a husband, if you choose to be a parent. You're fighting an uphill battle. You're fighting an uphill battle. In any dispute between you and your girlfriend, or you and your wife, the cops, the judge, in this case, your own parents will side with the woman, because men are guilty just for being men, and women are always innocent, and women can do no wrong. So society is against you. Women can make a false rape accusation. A woman can call the cops on you. The woman can do anything she wants against you, and chances are 99% of the time you'll get screwed over. So that's number two. Reason number two to avoid women: society is against you. Reason number three: sex is overrated. Now all three of these reasons kind of work together, because if one of these reasons is kind of invalid, you can kind of work around the other reasons. But these three reasons kind of cover all the bases. And number three is sex is overrated. Because with number one, she loves you today and tomorrow she doesn't know you exist. Well, if you're a pickup artist, you're okay with that. Because you just want a one-night stand, you just want the fun and excitement and the fun of having sex with random girls. But this is why I have reason number three. Reason number three: sex is overrated. So I know a lot of guys have a very high sex drive, especially if you're younger. A lot of Mgtows are PUAs, and a lot of Mgtows have girlfriends. A lot of Mgtows want to hook up with random girls, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But that's why I call myself a Mgtow monk, in order to distinguish myself from these type of Mgtows. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Although you are taking a lot of risk, I don't do it. But if you want to live your life that way, that's perfectly fine. So sex is overrated, and for me personally, losing my virginity was not a big deal. So society makes a big deal out of, oh, you're still a virgin, you can't get laid. And if a guy loses his virginity, it's supposed to be like this big huge thing. Oh, now he's a real man because he convinced a woman to have sex with him. being a virgin is supposed to be something that you're supposed to be ashamed of. You're somehow less of a man if you're still a virgin. Now, when I had sex for the first time, it didn't change anything at all. And I had sex with a few basically average-looking women, and it wasn't until I had sex with what I consider a perfect 10, actually two girls which I consider a perfect 10, 10 out of 10. I know it's PUA language, but basically for me, a 10 is a woman or a girl who was, if she was any hotter, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. The sex wouldn't be any better. The dating wouldn't be any better, and so on and so forth. So after I had sex with a couple girls that I considered perfect tens, that's when my sex drive really dropped. Now I'm still turned on by women. I still get the urge to have sex with women, and if it's really bad, porn is free, right? I have porn. Porn is free. It doesn't hurt anybody. But it wasn't until having sex with two really hot girls that I really was able to kind of put it behind me and really get on with my life and not have this sort of urgency, this nagging need all the time to hook up with women, to get a hot girlfriend, to ask that girl out for her phone number and all this stuff. So for the guys out there who are TFL or incel, or you're full of angst because you can't get laid, the best advice I have is go to a country where prostitution is legal. In my limited research, admittedly limited, in countries where prostitution is illegal, it tends to be associated with crime because it's run basically underground, and a lot of prostitutes are basically full of STDs and they're crack whores, and they're desperate for a bit of cash so they can go buy some drugs and get their next high. Whereas in countries where prostitution is legal, it's in the open, it's regulated, the girls tend to be cleaner, and the girls just tend to be normal girls who want to make some extra money. And so if you really need it that badly, save up some money, go to a country where prostitution is legal, and get a few call girls, get a few prostitutes, and make sure you get a few that you really like, and just get it out of your system, and just get past that phase in your life. Once you get past that phase in your life, it's basically your life is much simpler. You're much more in control of your life. You're not emotional all the time. You don't have this stupid emotional roller coaster of dealing with women. And life is much better. Life is much more calm. And you're much more in control of your life after you get over this urgent need of having sex. And really, sex is overrated. After you've had sex with a number of girls, and for every person, the number will be different. After a certain point, it's all the same. All these so-called hot girls, they're all interchangeable, right? You know how the story ends, and this really helps me be a Mgtow monk and avoid women. I know how the story ends. Long-term committed monogamous relationship. I've been there, done that. Hook up with random girls. I've been there, done that. Right. So those are the 3 reasons why I'm a Mgtow monk. Number 1, today she loves you. Tomorrow she doesn't know you exist. Number 2, society is against you. Number 3, sex is overrated. Alright guys, thanks for listening. See you guys next time.